You guys, I tried to do something. Oh, somebody did something about, you remember that post in the Tower to Table? It was about how bright the Tower Garden lights are. And it was like showed a window with like bright lights. Then I thought I was going to be funny. And I found like that picture from like Close Encounters of the Third Kind where the little kid's standing there and the alien lights are coming in front of them. But then I realized it was a dumb idea. I do that sometimes. Like in the action game, I sabotaged my whole team. I named us, instead of Sharknado, I named us Shake-nado, and I made a poster with a milkshake tornado. And I thought that was a good idea. I thought it was hilarious. And everybody's like, what is this? And he came in last place. It was my fault.
And then he actually had a shake tornado in the kitchen.
Oh, that's right.
You should show that picture, actually.
Well, that was almond milk. This is why I need an
almond milk.
All right, let's do that. Let's try.
And meanwhile, welcome to After Dark. Woo-hoo!
All I know is this picture is.
You should like have some techno music playing, Doug.
I know.
What?
But then we get in trouble with Facebook. You know, the rights and all that stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even in our private group?
Yes. And on YouTube, both, if we play music that is recognized. I don't think Doug's techno music probably wouldn't be recognized. You're right.
We need some.
She needs music, honey, and the picture.
Where is she?
Okay. Well, Doug's getting the picture. Go ahead and put in the chat what you guys are using for social media, all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, Clubhouse.
Good. And welcome to Kim, who I know probably can't make it to the One to Learn at 12. And I'm excited to have Jules speaking tonight, qualifying National Marketing Director Jules, known throughout the world. I'm gonna stop talking now.
Famous.
It's totally you.
Okay. All right. Hi guys. Happy Wednesday. Okay. I am super excited tonight just to share some things that I have learned over time and most recently, but it's going to be pretty basic. So if any of you guys are more advanced in social media, it might be, you know, already covered for you. It might be a little bit too basic. However, I think that there is a lot of wealth in fundamentals. And one thing that I think social media, well, first of all, social media can kind of be a big black hole where things are changing a lot. There's algorithms on all these social media sites that change all the time. So just when you think you have figured something out, they change it. And then you have to kind of change course and do something else. And so I think that anyone who claims to know what they are doing on social media completely and they're the expert, I would say that they're lying. I don't think anybody is a social media expert, but I think that we can learn a lot from a lot of people, a lot of different people. And I learned the most actually probably from our Juice Plus team, because what works in one field when somebody says, this is what's working in social media, well, that might not necessarily be true for our particular business. Juice Plus is part of the direct selling network marketing group, but we are also very different. And so I think we have to kind of take everything that we learn and hear with a grain of salt, which is what I tend to do, and then see how it can work for me, because I'm also very different than Melissa or Bart or Dr. Nalani or Karen or Michelle, who, you know, all do social media well, but I'm different. And so you guys are different too. So I do have a PowerPoint. You guys, I love PowerPoints lately. Okay, so hold on. Let me share my screen. Uh-oh, can I get, let's do this first. And it's a very short one, so I won't lose you. Social selling basics. I heard about maybe a couple months ago, Gordon Hester, He used to be kind of a, I don't know, a consultant for the Juice Plus company. Now he's like a consultant for the network marketing industry. He's super, super smart. And everything he said to me was like gold. And I just hung on every word he ever said. But I listened to him speak not that long ago, and he just said, social selling is pretty much how people are doing business these days. Can you do this business without a social media account? Obviously, duh, yes, you can. Is it easier if you're on social media? Obviously, duh, yes, it is, because there's so many people on social media, and this is how people are buying things. They're not buying things like they used to, like going into a store. I mean, COVID really helped the social media, the social selling space, but it was already kind of there. And so here, let me just move this. Here are just some basic facts. So 3.96 billion people use social media worldwide. That's basically half of the people on the planet Earth use social media. 40% of all internet users worldwide use social media for work purposes. 70% of all Americans use social media. So most of us, I think, on the call tonight are, you know, probably in the United States. And so 70%. Facebook is the leading social media network with 2.7 billion users. I put that in here because if you're not in social media, probably the best place to start and be is Facebook. If you're going to spend any time anywhere, Facebook is going to get you the most bang for your buck. And the average time on social media globally is 2 hours and 24 minutes a day. And that adds up to, if somebody gets on social media when they're 20 years old, that adds up to, if they live like an average life to like 85 or 88, it's 5 years of their life is spent on social media. Okay. So obviously we want to use social media for selling Juice Plus. And I know some people it doesn't sit right when they say selling. We like to say sharing, but to me, I kind of like to call it what it is. We are selling Juice Plus. We are letting somebody have Juice Plus for an exchange of money. And so that technically is selling. And so here, this is, you guys probably can't read this. I don't know if you can, but here's just 4 different ways to use social media. So when you're on social media, and by the way, I'm going to let a lot of you guys talk and ask questions, and I'm going to call on some of you, so be ready. I haven't told them, but just be ready. But there are, different ways that you guys can use social media for selling. And if you're in the social media space, then I hope that when you are posting stuff, you're thinking, okay, how is this going to affect my brands? Because I said this before on the last Lunch and Learn, people technically, for the most part, aren't buying Juice Plus, they're buying you. Because there's a lot of different other vitamins out there. There's a lot of other things that can make them healthy, but they buy Juice Plus because of who you are, because of what you stand for, because of what you're posting, because of the relationship they have with you. And so when you're out there on social media, you should always be thinking every time you post, does this align with my brand? Does this align with who I am? And a lot of times before you post, I always say, like, if you're having second thoughts, don't do it. You don't have to post right away, just wait and then see if maybe that post resonates with you a couple hours later, a day later. And if it doesn't, don't post it. There's somebody right now going through like a huge social media war or whatever, and she deleted some posts, and this would never happen to us, but like she's getting a lot of backlash for deleting those posts. And so I don't think most of our followers or friends aren't going to notice if you delete a post. I've done it probably multiple times because it didn't sit well with me later, but it actually didn't feel right to delete it either, because people, if they did notice, they're thinking, what do you have to hide? Okay. That's kind of off topic. But when you post, I want you to really think, is this aligning with my brand? And so to know that, you have to know your brand. You kind of have to know what you stand for. And so the first thing I put is match your social strategy to your customer. Is Juice Plus for everybody? Yes. We always say from womb to tomb, anybody can take Juice Plus. You really should have a target or a niche market. Like for me, mine is in the exercise field and young moms. That's really who most of the time I'm talking to, I'm surrounded by, I'm selling to. And so when I am posting and when I am thinking about how I'm going to market, I am always thinking, is this attractive to young moms or people in the fitness space? When you are posting and you are in different groups, or somebody asks a question, or you see them posting something, you want to start listening for problems that you can solve. When I am on social media, not only am I posting things that align with my brand, and that's attracting my niche market, but I'm also scrolling, looking for problems that I can solve. This girl just got done running a marathon. I messaged her, how are you refueling nutritionally? How are you supporting your body nutritionally? One of my favorite stories is one of our team members, she posted a picture of all the antibiotics and prescription medicine and over-the-counter medicine she was taking. She was a teacher and she said, so sick of being sick. And I was like, OMG, like I have a solution. You need to hear about this. And so you want to be constantly, we always say, don't fall in the scroll hole. If you're scrolling, you're looking for a problem to solve. Share meaningful advice. The first step is earning trust. Also, I will say this on social media, people aren't stupid anymore. I think they used to be. They're not stupid. They know if you're looking to get a sale. They know if you're just trying to get a sale and move on. They want people to, they want to do business with people they can trust. And so if you don't have that trust with them, if it's just an acquaintance or even a cold lead, earn that trust by conversation. That's how you earn trust. Okay. The second way to use social media for selling is that you want to create the right content at the right volume. So too much or too little can be damaging. Everybody has a different idea of what's too much and too little. I will say this, for me personally, I think once a day is like the sweet spot for me and my followers. Do I do it always? Nope, because sometimes I can't think of anything to post and I don't want to throw something out there that's not authentic. But when I am gaining new followers, when I am getting customers, once a day, pretty much. I just listened to somebody that said twice a day, but who was that? Bob Helig, I think, or Ray Higdon. It really has to be something that feels authentic and feels right to you. But I will say this, whatever you're posting, not only, like I said, has to be authentic, it has to have value. It has to add value somehow. We'll talk about that a little bit later. People know if your engagement is authentic. The whole point of posting is to get engaged with your prospects, obviously. The next one, build your network, comment, reshare, ask questions. Here's another way to use social media. People are out there, and they're out there a lot on social media. They're in groups, they're in Facebook parties, they're in events, they're talking to, random friends of friends. They're seeing things, they're searching for things, they're searching for Costa Rica. I just saw somebody asked a question about going to Costa Rica, and one of our team members answered her. They're out there looking for things. So it's our job to find them and to comment on their posts. Resharing is something that we probably don't do a lot of, but I'm starting to learn that if you want to earn somebody's trust, if you want to build a relationship with somebody, and I always say, you want to recruit up. So when you are trying to build your team, a lot of times it's hard to ask somebody to join your team that's way better than you, that's way more successful than you, that has a bigger network than you. So one way you can start to get to know them and earn their trust is resharing something that they've shared, or ask them to create a piece for you on whatever they're into, yoga, marketing, whatever, and say, I would love to share something that you share in my customer group. And by the way, you guys, we all have customer groups. You're in a customer group. I know, I run a customer group, Sharon runs a customer group, Sandy, Karen, Michelle, but just because it's their technically customer group, it's your customer group. You can take somebody's, like if Joy, I know she's doing a running club or whatever, you know, you can take something you're doing or somebody else is doing and share, as long as you ask, you know, the administrator, and share in that group. You want to reshare people's stuff because it makes them feel like they have something of value, and it actually helps to earn their trust. And ask questions. Like if somebody, this is so interesting to me. We have become a society that is so quick to want to tell somebody our opinion. And it's driving me nuts lately to see all the people that are asking questions on social media and people just blasting their opinions. And I'm just going, why is nobody asking a question? Like, tell me more about why you want to know this. Could we chat offline? And maybe they are, maybe they're doing it offline. So I'm not trying to be judgy, but asking questions is the biggest way to earn trust and build relationships and ultimately get a sale. As long as you're doing it authentically. I don't want you to ask questions if you're not really interested. You know, that makes sense, right? Okay. And then the last one, obviously, is connect it back to the product or the business. Ultimately, relationships. Can you guys hear me? Okay. I'm sorry, there was background noise. Connect it back to the products or the business. So ultimately, relationships are much more important than, by the way, I got a lot of this on entrepreneur.com, but this is verbatim because it was so good. So I'm going to read it. Ultimately, relationships are much more important than leads when you are selling via social. People share a lot of information, and if you take the time to listen to what they are saying, you will be in the best possible position to have meaningful conversations with the right people and offer just the thing they want or need at that moment. Okay, that is the end of my slideshow. I'm going to show you guys a quick video in a second, but I'm going to stop talking for a minute. And if we can just take 30 seconds and you guys, maybe you have to close your eyes because we are bombarded by information all day. We just consume so much information. And I'm sitting here like word vomiting on you. You guys are consuming more information. But for a second, if you can just take a deep breath, quiet your mind, and think about what you scrolled through today, what you saw on social media. And just try to remember one, if you can, even two. If you can remember two, I think that'd be great. One or two posts that stuck out to you today.
Jules, do you want us to say two posts we could have done, you mean?
No. Two posts, I'm sorry, that you saw while you were scrolling that stuck out to you, that resonated with you, that you can think of. And I'm going to ask you to share in a minute. And if you don't want to share out loud, you can type it in the chat, but let's just be quiet for like another 30 seconds. Okay, I put it on gallery view. Does everyone see gallery view or no? Just me. Okay. Okay, first of all, raise your hand if you can remember one post. Can you remember one post you saw today? Okay. Does anybody want to share what it was?
Well, I probably shouldn't share this, but I didn't even go on social media today, but just now when I was talking to Melissa and Sharon was there, and because Sharon was there, I said, okay, I shouldn't look at this post, but there was this girl that I follow that was like kind of like a half naked picture. She's laying on her guy and he's like touching her butt. It was just such a weird, but it was an artistic kind of a photo. But the lesson that I learned from it was that a photo like that is engaging. You know, it's like you definitely noticed it, you know, so like that's why, you know, like a less provocative photo that's still a great, beautiful photo would be very engaging. So I think that's an important lesson. We should take good pictures.
Yes, 100%. Your pictures have to.
And I should look at half naked people on Facebook. Sorry, Sharon.
It just got awkward. Okay, somebody else.
I'll share.
I
I wasn't sure exactly what you meant by remembering, but there were a couple posts that I remembered that weren't great posts, but then I realized there was one I didn't have time to read it. And it's a girl, I really don't even know how we're friends on Facebook, but I actually took a picture of it because I want to go back and read it, but it was like, slow down. This is a good way to start your morning. Here are some things you can do. I notice a difference in myself when I do these things. And I was like, I need to stop and read it, but I knew I didn't have the time to read it then. And one of the other ones that stuck out to me was a girl I know that I volunteer with who just complains nonstop. And I was like, stop complaining.
Okay.
Make it better.
Okay, so you guys are like doing exactly what I want you to do. So yes, so Doug saw something that was visually appealing. But it really is important. The picture is important. And then Melissa saw something that was of value and also something that was negative. So anybody else? Michelle?
Was the question, what post did we see recently from someone else
Yes.
that caught our attention?
Yes. Oh, did you have one? I thought you raised your hand. Oh, I have.
I did, but I didn't hear the full question.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Can I comment?
But
real quick?
like I'm on Instagram, and what catches my attention on Instagram are the reels. So I'm starting to learn how to do those because like there's so many clever reels. I feel like you almost have to be like a little like movie producer and like write out what you're going to do and what's going to be, because it's really like we're taking a lot into our hands doing these reels and TikToks. It's a whole production. So yeah, those catch my attention because then there's always the funky music that goes with it, and so and they're short.
Yes. Okay, Natalie, and then Kristen.
Hi, I follow Kirk Cameron. He does these campfires every day. It's kind of like a religious upbringing. He's trying to have a revolution for 100 days. So however, I found his sister because he wished her a happy birthday. We grew up with her, Cameron. I don't know her last name, but long story short, she has this whole like line of inspirational t-shirts and devotionals and things like that. And another one was a reel of, I guess, people. I asked my friend, I was like, why do people call people Karens? Like, like the Bye Felicia thing. And I'm like, this says to all the Karens. And it was something like this girl, funny thing, walking around trying to build her immune system, but like walking outside, not wearing a mask and doing stuff like that. So those were the two things that stood out to me. But honestly, I try to avoid like most social media if it's not like orchids, healthy stuff, or like, encouraging, because there's so many haters.
Yes. Okay, so let me just say some things if you guys are taking notes. So a few things that other people are teaching exactly what I wanted to say, that are the visually appealing. These are important social media tips. Something of value. And then Natalie said, like, basically campaign, like she's watching especially for us, and Michelle, I'm going to call on you later, and Bridget about this, because they have both done this well. And I know I did it a long time ago and got amazing results. Also, haven't done it in a while, but while I was doing this training, was like, I need to do a campaign. People like to be engaged with what is happening if it's taking you from point A to point B. I do see some things that are not as engaging, but if you're taking somebody through like a renovation or a makeover or something like that, people love that. They love to see the before and after, or see kind of the change. And so, especially if it's positive. And then so the campaign is 3, and number 4 is people are unfollowing people that are negative, hateful, judgmental, not adding value. People are unfollowing them. And so you have to be careful that we aren't, I don't know how to say this politically correct, but we just have to be careful. It's fine if you want to share your political views. It's fine if you want to share your religious views. It's fine. Just make sure you're not condemning anybody and you're not doing it in a way that's hurtful. Okay. That would be my advice. You can take it or leave it, but I know that we all have different views and that people are unfollowing people that are judgmental and hurtful and hateful. Okay. Kristen, I think you raised your hand, right?
I did. So
Okay.
I actually saw Sandy's post today about what you're getting in your body when you take Juice Plus.
Yes.
And I have been looking for something like this, and it was just perfect. And for me, it was so impactful. And I immediately sent her a message and I said, "Did you create this? This is amazing." And she said, "I shared it, but I kind of like, made it into my own words." And I said, "Oh, good, because I'm going to share it too." And then I changed it, made it my own words. But I thought it was very impactful, especially for the people who are taking Juice Plus, just to know, just to be reassured about what they are getting in their bodies every day. I mean, for me, it was just like, yeah, this is the perfect message that we want to send.
Yeah. It's funny. I saw that right away. I shared it in my customer group. Like, I don't do that often. It has to hit me pretty impactfully. And so I did. I shared that right away. And it was just a bunch of fruits and vegetables and different fruits and vegetables, each in a different cup. And yeah, what you're getting when you take Juice Plus, very visually appealing and added value and encouraging too. So, okay. And then I think Nicole Gomez, did you have something or no?
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm having like issues clicking on the little hand thing. It won't.
Oh, that's okay. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. You made a perfect example earlier. I was on TikTok today, and I noticed TikTok has become a very negative platform in some ways, and a lot of topics. I have been going through an extreme weight loss journey the past 6 months, so a lot of weight loss tips come on there, and I know there's a girl on there that she posts really good videos, but it pertains to her way of dieting. She might have health issues. We don't know her situation, but instead people are just saying, hey, asking questions, they just throw these nasty comments. So you made like a perfect example, and then I really did like that.
Yeah. Okay. Nicole, your audio is it's very glitchy, but I think what she was trying to say is that TikTok has gotten really negative, and then people leave nasty comments, and there's going to be people out there that kind of are attracted to nasty stuff. We don't want to attract those people to our business. And so we just want to make sure that what we're doing, like I said, aligns with your brand. And, I ask myself these questions, like, what am I selling? I'm not just selling Juice Plus, right? I'm selling myself. So literal and emotional health, wellness, peace of mind, more time with my family, being present with my kids. So if you guys look at my Instagram, you're going to see, and I'm not going to take you there, but you're going to see there is a very diverse portfolio of posts. It's not all Juice Plus. It's not all my kids. It's not all my husband. They're very it's very even. And I do that intentionally. Now, I think if you look at my whatever grid, it could look more visually appealing. I don't really care about that too much. I just care about my individual posts. Now, again, like I said, that's kind of basic. You could get a little bit more in depth. Like, I don't know if Michelle does this because I didn't check out her grid, but I know last time we did a social media training, Arlene's grid is beautiful and it's all like the same color and all organized. I'm more concerned about each topic I post, the content. Is it aligned with my brand? Is it, you know, does it line up with my priorities, my values, all these things that is prior grunt work before you post. You kind of have to know who you are, what you stand for, what your brand is. And so you might need to make a list of, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things that are important to you. So that when you can't think of anything to post, you could maybe think about those things and that would inspire you. Okay. And I also want to say that there's tons of social media trainings online, Fraser Brooks, you know, there's tons of people out there. I think it's wise to invest some time into learning about social media, you know, the tips, the tricks, the trades, because it's not going anywhere and it can help build your business tremendously. Have I gotten thousands of customers off of Facebook? Well, that's hard to say because people see my posts, and just because they don't comment or they don't like it, that does not mean they didn't see it. They're seeing it 100% of the time. And then when I have a conversation with them and they order Juice Plus, did they order for my post? No. But is it because of my post why they ordered? Could be. And so we have to be careful that we don't think, well, nobody's looking at my social media. Well, nobody cares about my social media. Nay, that's not true. They do, they are. And that's why they bought from you maybe 2 months down the road when they saw you at a soccer game. I just had a customer, an old customer, come back because he saw my post. He's like, I saw your post. I want to get started back on the Juice Plus. This was like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, you just never know who's watching. Okay, so here's the video I want to share. And then while I'm getting this, Michelle, I wanted to call on Michelle and Bridget because I kind of watched them. Michelle got some professional photos taken, which is kind of a dream of mine, to have somebody just photograph me for a day so I can have pretty pictures. But you don't have to do that. I want you guys to be careful that you're not looking at other people's posts and being like, oh, I can't do that. I can't afford that, or I don't have that, or blah, blah, blah. I don't have kids, or I don't. You have to be careful. You have to stay in your lane. People are attracted to you for a reason. And so just figure out who you are and own that. And your social media will explode. But Michelle, I just wanted to ask you if you had like any tips or what you have seen work for you, because I know you have, you know, grown a lot in social media and your business has grown a lot.
Right. Thanks for asking, Jules. So I just want to throw out there that I was not on social media until I started this business, and Sharon was the one who signed me up for Facebook. I was like, no, I have all the friends I need. I don't need to be on Facebook. And now, like, Facebook and social media are the driving forces behind my business. A year into my business, I decided to invest like $100 into this social media course. And it taught me so much, because prior to that course, I used to get like 0 likes on any post. I didn't know to post pictures with what I was writing. Like, it was just so bad. I look back, because you know how Facebook reminds you of what you posted on a certain day. And I look back to like when I first started, it was so bad. But I took that course to help me. And back then, I don't think Facebook was on and popping as a vehicle for like promoting your business. So I could only learn from her. But nowadays, you can just kind of watch what the team is doing and learn a lot, where you don't have to take a social media course, or you can go to YouTube, which is like the hub for learning just about anything. So now I know that people feel like they know me from just like connections from Facebook. Sometimes we'll have a mutual friend or someone will recommend that they connect with me, or I may see someone who I'm like, wow, like we look like we may have some things in common and not connect. And I'll instantly reach out saying, hey, I see we have this in common, or I'll say why I connected. And then I leave it at that. I'm not selling anything. I'm just like making that connection. And over time, like maybe commenting or, liking posts so that they get familiar with me. And when the time is right, I don't try to force too many things. There's just so many people in my bucket that I don't just like focus on one. If they pop up, I may have a comment or a conversation, but social media really has been the vehicle because I am a stay-at-home mom. So I'm not out and about, especially since last year, like I used to be. So it has been a really good vehicle for me to connect with more people, build relationships, and actually connect with my customers so that they can see me on another level too. And then they always tell me, oh my gosh, I'm so inspired. The ones that are connected to me, and that, like, I'm probably connected to like 40% of my customers on Facebook, but it helps to continue to, that they continue that education from watching what I post on social media. And then they get to know me more personally because they see my family, they see me traveling, all the things.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Social media relationships are a marathon, not a sprint. I don't know if there's anybody you've met right away that has bought right away. Like, it doesn't typically happen that way. Could it? Yes. That's not the norm. And so same thing, I create a lot of relationships through groups and stuff like that. People have asked me to do those online vendor events. I've done a lot of those, and have gotten a lot of, friendships from the vendors. I usually get, most of my customers are the vendors, not the people that are coming to the event. And that's typically true when I do a real event too, like a vendor fair, farmers market, whatever. Always talk to the vendors. But yeah, it's over time. And so if you're in it to like get rich quick, it's not gonna happen. Okay. And thank you, Michelle, for sharing. And then Bridge, can you talk? I don't know if she can talk, but she did two things that really struck me as just really kind of cool. But how she did it was even cooler. Do you want to talk about first of all, remember the business conversations you did with Kirsten a long time ago, the live?
Yeah.
And then the tower campaign you just did. If you can just share quickly about those two, like how you got the tower campaign idea, because I don't think anybody knows.
Well, first, Kirsten and I did Facebook Live where we interviewed, we like chatted together. So you could bring somebody else in live. And we did it, I think we did it once a week for about 4 weeks in a row. And we would talk about a different topic. But it was a topic related to our Juice Plus business. So it was like something, like being able to work from home and things like that, and like the community and how personal growth. So we picked a different topic and we would just kind of both chat about that on Facebook Live together at the same time. And it streamed onto both of our pages. So that was fun. And we would invite to it also, and then also just put it on our Facebook page to let people know that we were going to do it. But we would invite specifically to it also. So yeah, and that helps.
And Michelle, I'll just say Michelle does that too. I think it's really, there's synergy in having more than one person talk. People like to see that. And so when you're interviewing somebody or talking to somebody back and forth, and I love that you can invite to that too. I think that's really important to kind of ask people to come in and join you and watch you. But what's cool about the Facebook Lives is they're there forever. You can comment and tag people on it and they can go back and watch that. But another thing Bridge brought up is that she was talking about the Juice Plus business, but she wasn't talking about the Juice Plus business. She was talking about things like why you should own your home-based business, like Michelle's doing the tax event. Why is that important? So, the curiosity, I forget, I've listened to so many people recently, but I think it was Ray Higdon was saying, like never, ever, ever mention your product or your business. So it always should be kind of vague about what you're talking about, because you want people to come to you and ask you the question. So just talking about why why it's cool to buy from your friends, or why it's cool to have a home-based business. So I loved those conversations. And then go ahead about the tower campaign.
Well, actually, I think I saw a post from, I think Doug posted, and I'd actually seen the post a few times. It was top 10 reasons to grow with the Tower Garden. And like Jules was talking about, I'm always looking for things to post. And if I don't feel inspired or I feel like I can't come up with something, then I won't post that day. And I saw that and I was like, that's a really good idea to do one reason every day. So I kind of took that idea and then found my own photos and just incorporated it into, put my own twist on it of the Tower Garden in my life with my pictures and some other pictures. But I did it straight for 10 days. And I started to see the same people liking those posts. I didn't get a ton of comments, but then we did a Tower Garden event. So after the 10 days, a few days later, we did a Tower Guard Zoom event, and I reached out to everyone that liked it. And it was funny because when I posted about it, I had other people reach out to me who didn't comment and didn't like, but reached out to me via Facebook Messenger asking about the Tower Garden. So I used to get really disappointed when I didn't have a lot of likes and comments. But then, like Jules was saying, I'd bump into people in person and they'd mention how they've been watching all my posts. Or can they try the shake, out of the blue? And who knew that? I had no clue that they were even there, looking. So the Tower Garden post has been good because I do think repeatedly having the same repetitive content, but learning something new each time, the same topic, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Gave me something to post every day, but yet it also created people that were following along.
Yes, I love that. I don't think, Doug, or Sharon knew you did that. And I just thought, that's thinking creative. And so that's another thing you guys could do is do a top 10 or do it, reasons and post one a day to follow along with. And I just think that, when you do something like that, how many exposures does it take to our product or our business before somebody says yes? I mean, the rule of thumb is I think 6 to 8. That's a lot of exposures. And how many times are we kind of taking the first no and running with it and not going back? But the cool thing about social media is somebody could have told you no, but they're they're getting exposed to your product or your business because of social media, unless they unfollowed you. Okay.
Jules, another thing, I was just telling somebody, as we add friends, maybe we don't even know those people very much. I don't care if I don't know, but they just see my stuff. Maybe they don't, maybe they do, but over the time, you end up kind of being friends with that person anyway. And then another thing that happens, this just happened to me with Tower Garden, where you're posting and there's people that are lurking and you don't even know. And then all of a sudden, somebody wrote on there, as soon as we get in our new house, I've been meeting, I'll definitely be contacting you about a Tower Garden. And it's oh, I had no idea they were even thinking about it or anything. So you always got to post believing the best in people, remembering that everybody loves you, remembering that, it doesn't matter if you stole the post from another Juice Plus person or whatever. Hopefully you guys are all okay with that, because we should be okay with that. We're all working kind of together. And by the way, don't go on each other's posts. Like when Jules does a killer post, it doesn't help Jules for me to go on there and say, oh my gosh, this is so great. I'm going to totally.
Can I steal it? Yeah, don't do that.
Go on there and act like this is awesome. Dude, that's good. Yeah. Just do something that helps the numbers on her post, but don't let people think that we're all boosting each other up. That's not a cool.
Yes. So how do you get people to see your posts? You comment on their posts. The more you comment on their stuff, they see your stuff. And then also, Doug, I'll let you share. Hold on. Also, if somebody said to me, I can't wait, as soon as I get my new house, I want a tower, I would comment back, or I would probably take it offline. Oh my goodness, tell me more about this new house. Ask them questions where is this new house? Are you what's your color scheme? I love new house stuff. And so the more you build that relationship, the more they actually will buy the Tower Garden from you. Because a lot of times people say that and then they ghost you. I have a funny video. I should show that one from Reddit too. But they do. People ghost you. They don't just ghost you. They ghost all of us. But the more you build the relationship and you keep the conversation going, the less they ghost you. Go ahead.
That's on private. You inquire more, or even in public, say, "Oh yeah, that's awesome. You're moving." Like, don't even talk about Tower Garden. Just go, "Are you moving?
Yes.
What's up? What's
Yep.
new?" And go through when people are commenting your thing and do little answers back. That's all just going to help your engagement.
Yeah, it's like the fishing. I think Julie Herbst used to say this. The fishing, like reel them in. Like, you talk a little bit about what they're interested in, then you can say, hopefully they ask you something about you, and it's just a lot of back and forth. But you almost have to. People are. Cleta says this a lot. People want to talk about themselves, so they don't ask you about what you're doing. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's human nature. We've kind of evolved to be self-centered, but just keep asking them about themselves. And then if you want to drop a little Tower Garden thing in there once in a while, but then go back to them, Okay, let me share this. This is so funny. If you guys aren't following social media, like people that are good at social media, you got to, because this is where I get a lot of my stuff. But this guy has started doing funny videos, and he's cracking me up. Hold on. I'll do the ghost one after the one I want to do. Okay. This one you want to take notes on. Oh, Sharon, did I get it? Can you hear? No. Okay, hold on. Shoot, where's the button?
You have to unshare, and then
Share with
after you click on the screen, then look down. Don't click all the way.
Oh, yeah. I got it. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can restart it. What the heck?
Here you go.
All right.
Here's a simple way to never run out of content to post online. It's called ILT, and it stands for Invest, Learn, Teach. This is where you invest your time, possibly money, to learn something, then you teach it. You can take the notes of articles that you've read, books that you've read, or courses you've been through, and just share those and attract people to you. Finally, you can take what you learn and convert that into leads, customers, and sales. Here's a simple way to never run out of content to post.
Was that good? All right, now just watch one of his funny ones. Invest, learn, teach. Invest, learn, teach. We kind of teach that anyway, but that's a good ILT.
I really need to start making money from social media.
Well, I have a 7-day blitz that'll help.
7 days? Do you have like a 3-day?
I mean, come on, if you're serious about making money, you can at least show up for 7 days, can't you?
Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
Okay, one more. They're funny. I mean, they're short, so I can do one more.
Yeah, sure, I'm happy to help. Why do you want to start a home business? I just have a dream inside me to really impact a lot of people and help my family see the kind of person I can really be. It means so much to me. Wow, that's awesome. Well, I'll send you the link to the video right away. Hey, I sent it over. Did you get the link? Hey, you were so excited to become all that you could be. Did you get the link? I haven't heard back from you. Yeah, sure, I'm happy to help. Why do you want...
So all right, hold on. Okay. So I think everybody's different, but to me, humor is my love language. I love the funny videos. So I try to be funny. Like, I'm not really good at it. And I think I'm really funny and nobody else does. Melissa might get my sense of humor. But I think that's another way to reach people is like with humor. I always remember funny things. Anyway, he's a good guy to follow. Bob Heilig, Heilig, is another good guy. Fraser Brooks, Jasmine Starr, she's really good about curating content and teaching you how to like create content for the whole month. You can take her course, which one of my team members did, so I just learned it all from her. But if you don't have time to post on social media, I know it's getting late, so we're going to wrap this up, but if you don't have time, can kind of create the post ahead of time. There's different tools to use, so it'll just post automatically to Facebook. I use the Facebook tool where I can post in my groups ahead of time. I don't think you can do that on your personal wall, but you can do that in groups and stuff. So there's so much out there. And what I wanted to make sure, I actually did not want to talk this long, but what I want to make sure that you guys take away from tonight, or that maybe you're inspired to do like one thing that can help your social media game, and that can maybe help you become a brand where people want to purchase Juice Plus from you and want to join your team. And so two things, make sure that you're, creating, or that you're putting content out there that aligns with your brand, that's of value, and that people will follow people that know where they're going. So it's okay to take some time to figure that out if you don't know. And it's okay if you don't post every day. Or I saw Michelle wrote, Gary Vee says 3 times a day. I mean, to me, that's excessive. I mean, he's obviously way more rich than I am, so maybe I should listen to him, but there's no way I could come up with 3 posts a day. And so, I think that you just have to really, like I said before, just do you. Don't be discouraged or frustrated with social media. It should be fun. It should be something like that's a fun thing to do and a fun way to grow our business. And people know if you're not having fun and if you're not being authentic. So I think that's all I have. I'm sorry I talked so long.
Can I ask a question, Jules?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So like you and Michelle, Sandy, I mean, there's a bunch of you guys that are really good on social, and it seems like so consistent. And like, I just realized that we're doing this right now. And I just went out like on a bike ride for like an hour and a half today. And I went all the way out to the Everglades and all this stuff. I didn't take any pictures. I didn't think of it. But something like that, like you guys wouldn't let that happen without a good picture, like staging a picture with the bike on the Everglades and like made it all the way here, rode 30 miles today. I mean, so is it just like you're always, do you guys take pictures of like, because it looks like photo shoots too, like some of it is so like good, the pictures, and then like it's like you have a photographer with you. Like, how are you guys doing that? Like it's not selfies you're taking. So how do you remember to like, how much in your mind is it, and how much do you plan these pictures and stuff like that? Like, what's that all look like?
Michelle said I'm intentional. I am too. I mean, it might be just a habit because we've had social media longer. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I was an early adopter. I feel like I was on Facebook right when it got on. I get on everything right when it comes on. Like I'm all in. Like, remember Periscope? I was all in on Periscope. I'm all in Clubhouse right now. So I took a picture of my dinner last night. I just take pictures of everything. And then I didn't post a picture of my dinner last night, but I will eventually. I think that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but I am always thinking about, is this post worthy? I have to be intentional about turning it off and saying, I'm leaving my phone home and I'm going to be completely present with my family.
Okay. But okay. So I guess it is a habit. I mean, I should have thought of that before I went, and then made my destination a really good photogenic spot. Either way, I would do a bike ride. So it's just little things like that. When I think of it, I get really good engagement. Like, I tend to be really good with tower garden stuff, but nothing else.
Yes. That's how I feel like if I was gonna do, like, that's how I feel like I know you now. Like, I just told somebody, like, Doug's my tower garden master friend. But with your weight loss journey, and I feel like your brand is like transformation right now, and just changing. And I think that anything that goes along with that, which is healthy eating and exercise, and I mean, you and Sharon are a power couple. I feel like you guys should be posting more about like business and doing business together. And You know I've seen you guys post like that before, and I resonate with that stuff. You have to be careful. I'm real careful. I don't want to be showy or self-seeking,
Self-promoting. Yeah.
self-promoting. I do think there's a fine line, and I think we'll probably get it wrong from time to time. But if you're always thinking of who am I trying to attract, what would I want to see,
Yeah.
then I think those two questions are like good for like, okay, you know, I forget, one of the national marketing directors bought a Tesla or like a nice car. She's like, I didn't post the brand of the car. Like she didn't post the hood ornament, just like from the 80s. What are they? The things from the cars. But she took a picture of the guy that sold her car, and she sung the praises of that guy, and you could see the sign in the background. But she's like, you've got, if you're in the market for a new car, you got to come see this guy. And I was like, that was a really cool, curious like way of saying, I'm rich, I got a new car, but without saying that, And different types of posts do attract different people. And so I think that, you will see people killing it with some of those posts that I don't like. They're attracting a different type of people that are showy, that do like to show off. So, yes.
I think this is an incredible topic. This was very valuable. I think I might even watch this again. I mean, it was really good. Yay. And I feel like, I think social media, especially after the year of COVID and stuff, if it was ever like questionable whether or not we're primarily online with our marketing and sales, it is online now. I mean, this is it mostly. And I think we need to take it a little more serious. I know I do. So, I mean, it is hard to find good information. I mean, Jeb Blount, who wrote Fanatical Prospecting, he actually has a book now called Virtual Selling. And it's kind of like, okay, a guy that is a sales teacher figured he should get on the virtual bandwagon. It's not great. So I think almost instead of reading books, you got to be following blogs and podcasts and finding the latest info, or just watching what other people do. But I don't know, this is good. I might need to hire you as a coach, Jules. You gave some good tips right there. Sharon, did you write that stuff down? It was good. What we should be doing.
Business. Yeah. Doing the business together. I mean, whenever we've posted anything together, same with you guys, I'm sure, if you're with your spouse, when we go to the gym or we go for a walk or we go for a date, people love to see togetherness, I think. So they've always loved those posts, but I think it's good, to talk about being able to be home and doing the business somehow. I don't know. I mean, we would need advice. We need a consultant.
Yeah.
Well, if you're out of the if you've kind of like made it public that you want to help other people learn how to do this, or Sharon, it's really easy for you because your public mission is to help mommies stay home with their kids. Mm-hmm. So it's like we can talk about this and this and this, and it's just I just really always remember, guys, I'm here and I'm always ready to help you if you want to learn how to make some extra money. And I don't know, like you said, it's a fine line, Jules, but at the same time, I was just telling Melissa to add as many friends as she can. And then when you end up with, 3,000 people that you don't know most of them, it kind of makes it easier to do posts because that it's not just your brother and sister that are seeing it,
Well, and this is how it works. You post something that might have crossed the line about you wanting to help people make money, maybe not. And then you post about you losing weight, and then you post about Hurley, and then you post about Emma and golf, and then you post about this other thing. And then you see a person comes to your mind, then you have a conversation with them and they saw that post. So like it all kind of starts coming together, even though it feels like separated, but it's not. It all comes together. Yeah. And so I think it just needs to be your brand. It doesn't need to be like, this is what I do. It's part of who you are, but that's not all that it is. So I think that we just have to, like one thing that I think I also struggle with, and I think probably most of us, is just being consistent. It's hard to be consistent because life gets in the way, and sometimes things happen where you can't be consistent, or you might be uninspired, or you might have an off week, and so that happens. But I always try really hard to listen or watch something that can inspire me to get back on. And that's when usually I can post something inspiring, and it's like the ripple effect, you pass it on. So it really all boils down to like you knowing yourself and growing, which is how we grow in this business anyway, self-growth. So if you're doing that, then you're probably gonna see your social media grow too.
Super. Sharon.
All right, guys.
Oh, Jules is closing it. She's running.
Thanks, Jules.
Yeah, thanks, Jules.
That was really good, Jules.
Happy Wednesday. Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.